It's really nice to have a half where you don't turn the ball over and have 16 assists, and I'm really proud of our guys for that. It was great to see Alan Griffin. Alan's worked really hard, and you know, he had a 30-point game in Italy, and has really kind of shot in some tough luck here early in the first 5 or 6 games, and then to see him get it going. But he's a guy that scores in a lot of ways. I thought Trent Frazier absolutely controlled the game on the defensive end. And it's what this game's all about, is to see a young man that, as a freshman, really he was a scorer, he was a shooter, he had 30-point nights, and had that ball not gone in or he had not got shots, he wouldn't have been that guy on the defensive end. In my opinion, he's turned into one of the elite defenders, not just in the Big Ten, but in the country. And he just doesn't miss assignments. He's very dialed in. He took one shot the first half, and I thought was just phenomenal at the other end of the court. So, you know, Io got going. We knew that was a matter of time. You know, shooting threes, and he spent countless hours in here in the last 2 days getting up some shots. So, and then I thought, you know, DeMonte gave us a great lift, and was excited to see he and Allen really get going. But 45 baskets, 29 assists on the night. Really, the only thing that two things I was a little disappointed in were our rim protection, one block, and then the first 2 minutes of the second half when we turned it over 3 times. But we'll move on real quick from this one and get ready for the next one on Tuesday. But a lot of positives tonight.
Brad, did you get a sense this kind of full game was coming to you guys?
Well, I felt better after the second half. Who did we play the other night? Citadel. I felt better. I felt like we were starting to play in some rhythm. We were starting to understand where our shots were coming from. You know, I think, you know, you don't ever plan on shooting 60% in the first and 70 in the second. You don't ever plan on that kind of night. But again, I think it goes to show you when you attack the front of the rim, there was a lot of easy opportunities there. And then we got out and ran, and that's what running can do, is create easy opportunities for you. And but yeah, you know, I think we're all feeling a little better about what we're trying to do on that end.
You harassed number 2 and for them 8 of 22 from the floor. Looked like he was really working hard to get his shots off. You mentioned Trent. Was that Trent's assignment, or was it more of a team effort for him tonight?
Well, there was a little bit of a team effort, and you know, you saw their counter early. You know, we were, you know, forcing them to the baseline on ball screens, and they slipped out of them a couple times, and 14 drove Kofi early. But that's that was a nice job on their part, you know, in countering it. We wanted to make his efforts and his clips as he got him up there very tough. But you know, he's a good player. He gets to the foul line a lot. We were most concerned with him getting to the free throw line. And but again, you know, scorers usually find a way to get a few up, and I felt good about how hard we made him work.
So why the first half turnovers? Because you guys were in that rhythm on offense, or was there something else you guys were doing to prevent those?
Yeah, it helps when you throw it to the guys in the white jerseys. You know, we weren't doing that early, and you know, that's something that we've really held them accountable for in practice. But again, it's I don't think you ever plan on having a half where you don't turn it over. But it just, you know, so happened, and again, we played with pace, and we we did what we had to do, and so I think it's all a combination of accountability. I think it's a combination of concentration. I think it's comfort, understanding what we're trying to do.
Nico in the back.
Brad, late in the second half, you were still pushing the guys really hard despite that big lead. Is there an importance to kind of keep that attitude, not get complacent despite these big leads that can kind of lead to some future success?
Nameless, faceless, and that's, and it doesn't matter, and that's something we talk about a lot. It doesn't matter what the name on the jersey is or who we're playing. And, the one thing that the guys that are in the game at the end practice really, really hard. They work their tails off every single day. And just because the score says something that you would perceive to take it easy, that's not the way you play. And that's not the way those guys can continue to grow, is to just be sloppy and play through, the end of a game. Just to end it. And we want them, we dove on the floor for a loose ball, and you saw Zach and you saw Ben and Jermaine all crashing the boards and doing things that we practice. So, we expect them to do what we practice, and I was very pleased to see that.
Jerry?
Kofi had a dunk in transition early, Georgie had an and one finishing on the break, 42 points, fast break points. What did you like about the way you ran and your offense there, quick transition?
Well, the beautiful thing about the play that Georgie dunked was the fact that Io ran really, really hard down the right wing. Trent ran the left wing, and both of their defenders ran with him, which opened up the middle third of the floor. And when you get out and run, that's what's there. And that's really what we preach and we practice, and it was great to see that. And Georgie made a great catch on that. That was not an easy pass to catch, but Kofi showed that he can really run. And excuse me, those are opportunities we sure want to take advantage of.
Enjoy it. Alan said that no one really taught him how to be like that on the offensive glass, and just an instinct that he has. Did you notice that when you were recruiting him? Has he improved on that since he's gotten here?
I remember watching him in a semifinal game in the state playoffs. I think he had 14 rebounds in the game, and I mean you're always excited about some wing player or guard that goes to rebound like that, and I think he had 29 and 14 in that game, and it was a big game. But scorers, and he has a scoring mentality. Scorers figure out how to get the ball so they can put it in the basket, and that's one thing he does at a really high level. I think you see how athletic he is. He's a sneaky freak athlete, really, and in terms of how high he jumps, and with his added strength, he's becoming a real problem on the glass.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you. See you on Tuesday.